This is the profile that the men will face this afternoon. As you can see, we start at 1,000 meters and finish at 400. This is Thomas Misser out on the course at the moment, a young Spanish rider, extremely good. He rode exceptionally well in the Cap d'Ai earlier in the year. It takes a lot of risks. This course is suiting him at the moment. He's doing great times out on the course. We have to wait till he comes down. The best time at the moment, in fact, is 6 minutes and 12 seconds of Christian Taillefer from France. But it looks to me as if the man from Spain is doing a great job. You see the difference here between the men and the women. The men really have geared themselves up for this part of the course. They've got a slightly bigger gear on to keep the speed up. Average speed at the moment is 44 kilometers an hour for the fastest rider, and I think that may well fall before the end of the day. Superb crowd out here. There's the banner that they all wait for. Look at the time, 6:03. The time to beat is 6:12, and it may well be that he's going to come inside that. He gives every last little bit of energy as he comes down to the line. There it is, 6 minutes and 10 seconds. That's good enough for top place at the moment. Well, he'll be happy with that. The man from Barcelona in Spain speaks superb English. In fact, like a lot of these mountain bikers, spends an awful lot of time in America. Next man in the starting block, Scott Sharples of Australia. Obviously thinking about what's going to happen next year when the World Championships moves to Cairns, into the tropical heat of the Southern Hemisphere. Well, he's off. Good start. Look at that. He really piles on the pressure as he goes out to the starting blocks there. Well, we're on the tricky part of the course here, half distance at the moment. Look at that time on the right-hand side, 3:53. That's the second best time so far. Let's not forget the Spanish rider has gone through with the best time of 3:52, so he's really up in the leaderboard at the moment. As he comes through here, you get a chance to see how much these bikes really do get thrown around. Most of these bikes in the range in about $5,000, and they can only be used for this specific discipline because, as we've said before, they're very special bicycles these riders use these days. Again, he flicks across to the left-hand side of the screen there. That road there is a little bit harder. Picks up as much speed as he can. He's doing a great ride at the moment. Well, that's a very clever move. The first rider I've seen so far jumping onto the tarmac there, just again to pick up a little bit more speed before we go into this straight part of road section. Disappears into the crowd there. They really have got behind the riders. It doesn't matter where these riders have come from all over the world, but the crowd pushing them onto the occasion, and this is exactly what the riders will see. This was recorded yesterday when the riders were practicing on the course. It gives you an idea of exactly how fast and how dangerous this course is. Obviously, when they're racing, they're starting in a time trial situation. They're starting at 1.5 minute intervals, but they won't be quite as bunched up as these guys here. Well, down on the finish line, everybody waiting for the arrival of Scott Sharples. He's got the second best time so far at half distance. Time to beat will be 6 minutes and 10 seconds. That of Tommy Misser, the Spanish rider who everyone here was expecting to finish in the top 10, but really has walked across the top of the leaderboard at the moment. There's the Australian coming now through the Hutchinson barrier. That's what they all look for. They know then they've got to give every last little bit of energy. Coming down to the line, he's got a good one. 6 minutes, 11 seconds. That's good enough for second place at the moment. He'll be happy with that. Excellent ride by Scott Sharples of Australia. That'll put him in second place at the moment, but there's some very fast riders to come at the moment. Well, this is number one, the man who was world champion last year, Francois Gachet. 29 years of age, regarded by most as the best downhill man in the world, but he could get pushed very closely to the finish line by his teammate and protege, Nicolas Vouillet. Well, look at that start. He's giving everything. This man will have warmed himself up. He knows exactly what he has to do today. He knows that he's got a teammate chasing him, and he's taking all the risk. Look at the speed. The speed is almost totally different to what we've seen so far today. He threw his bike round that corner. 3:48 was the split time there, almost 40 seconds faster than the fastest lady. Well, here he comes, a foot down there just to control a little bit. He's riding exceptionally well. Best time so far at the midway split. He's going round these corners like a man possessed. He throws it round that corner. I thought he was going to lose it for a moment there. What an experience. You see how he's flicked across to the left-hand side of the road. The road is getting a little bit harder there, so you can pick up just that little bit of speed as you come down to the straightest part of the course. A tuck position there. They did get down into a little bit of aerodynamics just to save his breath a little bit, just to save that last little bit of energy, because he knows over the last couple of corners he will need that to accelerate, to keep the speed up. 45, 46 kilometers an hour is the speed that this man is doing at the moment. A chance here just to see exactly what these riders have to face. You see how he tries to flick his bicycle over the obstacles. There have been an awful lot of punctures out on the course today, and when the bike is bouncing around like this a lot, what can happen in fact is a chain can come off, and these riders have special chain guards, and if your chain comes off, then the day is over for you. But this man is one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world, and you see the control. He flicks it round that corner, but it looks to me as if he's got a little bit of difficulty trying to pick up the speed. Also a chance here as he goes through the hop, a very technical part of the course here, to see the total difference between these bicycles and the bicycles that the riders will use tomorrow in the cross country. Nowadays there is a total different breed of downhill bicycle. They're nearly all hydraulic front and rear. The crowd here waiting for the man that they know is the fastest man in the world. He wears number 1. This is what he's got to do. He's coming through here, 6 minutes and 10 seconds of Thomas Missa, the Spanish rider. Look at this, he's well inside. He's pushing all the way down to the line. He's going to get the best time. 6 minutes flat. That is 10 seconds faster than the Spaniard. He goes top of the leaderboard. And the crowd know that this man is fantastic. You can hear them rising to him. There are a lot of French people come over here. We're not too far from Strasbourg and the French border. But now he has to wait for about a minute and a half to see if he can be the world champion for the 2nd year running. This may well be the man that can push him off. Look at this rider's pedigree. 19 years of age, and already he's been 3 times world champion. Great start by Vouillet, the man who won Cap d'Aille this year. He really went down that mountain. An incredible descent down in the Côte south of France there. Very difficult, very dangerous, not like today's course. But if you're a good downhill man, you can take to any kind of surface. Look at the way he flicks his bike around that corner. The same way as the man who preceded him. He's using the left shoulder of the road here, picking up as much speed as possible. Into the tuck position, getting that speed up again, 45, 50 kilometers an hour. As he went through the halfway time there, they were almost in the same time. It could well go down to 1 or 2 of these French riders, but don't forget, Mike King is out there, the man on the comeback, the American who in 1993 was the world champion. Last year was out with a broken collarbone, but this is Nicolas Vouillet, and look at the difference. He is so much smoother as he goes over that difficult part of the course here. Very rutted, a lot of roots, a lot of stones there, but you have to have total control when you come into this corner. Look at that. You see how he picks his speed up so much quicker than his teammate did. This may well be where he could pick up 1 or 2 seconds, and at this level of the sport, that is all you need. The crowd are quiet. They're waiting for this man to come down. You see the way that bike is vibrating at the front. You can see the work on those hydraulic forks. They're pushing up and down. They really are giving him a battering. See how the downhillers have a much lower position as well than the cross-country riders. They need that to give them a little bit more stability, especially when they flick around these corners. Look at the crowd today. Unbelievable. Waiting down on the finish line. This is Gachet. He knows now he has to wait to see what the young protege can do. We're coming up to the line. 6 minutes flat is the time to beat. We realize that, and it's going to be very close on the line. 57, 5 minutes, 57, 98. 1 is the position that he will go today, and look at that. One man, I think, might still be able to beat him. That's Mike King. But, you know, I think we've seen the end of Francois Gachet. Even so, he's still going to be in 2nd position at the moment. And this is the man, 1993 world champion. He went out last year, he broke his collarbone, came back at the end of the year and won one of the downhill races in America. But this year, he's had a little bit of a hard time, although he has been consistent. He was 2nd overall in the World Cup. He's a great rider, great performer. He could well upset the French today. Look at the way he throws his bicycle around these corners. Foot out there to control. A lot of control there being lost, and you see now he is coming down the middle. This is where he'll lose a bit of speed. Both of the Frenchmen went on the hard shoulder towards the left. He's pedaling all the way, keeping his speed up. Well, he's about 3 or 4 seconds down on the 2 Frenchmen at the halfway check, but he's still giving everything. This race can be won and lost in the final few corners. A superb crowd have come out to watch this event today. I don't think the organisers expected this. They were looking for 30,000, and maybe they've got 50. Well, this is Mike King. Coming down there, still very controlled. He's already got his left-hand foot out. You see, what he wants to have that foot out for is to control. It'll go down in case of a problem, locks up his back wheel. They know this corner. They've ridden this course 4 or 5 times this week. You see there how low he is, and then he just gets out of the saddle to accelerate and bring himself back up to speed. King now got his knees out a little bit. There's his foot just to control. This is the hop, a very difficult part of the course. A lot of riders losing time on this part. And you have to be in total control. You have to get your feet back into the clipless pedals which these riders have, based on the same thing as the ski bindings. The crowd are waiting now. The 2 Frenchmen down on the finish line, 1st and 2nd overall at the moment. They know this man can beat them. That's the time. He's outside the time of the 2nd place Frenchman, but can he get 3rd? He's coming to the line. He's giving everything he's got. 6:05, 6:06, 6:07. 3rd place for Mike King. Well, he won't be too dissatisfied with that, because he has been beaten by the 2 best downhillers in the world. But I don't think he'll be too disappointed with that ride, because let's not forget that last year was almost a lost year for Mike King when he was out with that broken collarbone, and he's come back from a long way. Well, the best placed German rider at the moment is Jürgen Benneker. In fact, he hails from here in Freiburg, but this man may well be able to push him off the top. This is Christian Lemmertz, and he's coming through with a good time. 6:13 is good enough for 7th, and in fact, he'll push his teammate down 1 slot into 8th place. Well, you can hear the disappointment of the crowd. They wanted Jürgen Benneker to be the top-placed German tonight, but Morten Jentegaard is doing a superb ride out here on the course. Comes down here to the bunny hop, and this is a difficult point to negotiate. If you get it wrong, you have a 45 to 50-foot drop on the other side, and then you miss all of these corners. You see he's taken that so badly. And as he comes through the cut there, you see he's jumping and trying to avoid all the obstacles, but he's losing time all the way down to the finish line. There he was, eventually finished in 7th place, but the top 3 in this year's World Mountain Bike Championships downhill will be 3rd Mike King, 2nd François Gachet, and 1st Nicolas Vouillet, world champion for the 4th consecutive year.